you believe it's been almost 2 decades since the late Hiroshi Yamauchi passed the reins of Nintendo over to the late, much-beloved Satoru Iwata in 2002? So you'd be forgiven for forgetting how absolutely terrifying and crazy the former president of Nintendo actually was. I mean, not only did he look like a Bond villain, he was absolutely ruthless. And it was this drive that took Nintendo from obscure Japanese playing card manufacturer to one of the leading video game console developers and software publishers. And all from a man who wasn't afraid to mince his words, no matter who he offended. So this episode, we take a look at the CEO of coarseness, the president of peremptory, and the boss of boorishness. As I say, but hello you, I'm Guru Larry, and I welcome you to Fact Hunt, the completely insane policies of Nintendo's president. Considering how successful the JRP genre had been on Nintendo systems, it's amazing how little Yamauchi thought of the genre and its fans. Square, now Square Enix, had a very public falling out with Nintendo over the development of the Nintendo 64 hardware. Square had ambitions where they wanted to take their massively successful Final Fantasy series, which the upcoming cartridge-based system just couldn't match, especially with Nintendo's draconian approaches to licensing and manufacturing fees. It was a perfect opportunity for Sony to get their checkbook out and sign up Square to bolster the JRP library for their upcoming PlayStation console, with the latest and greatest instalment of the Final Fantasy series, hailing a new golden age for both the franchise and the genre. Bittered by this spat, Yamauchi went on quite a bit of a rage against JRPGs and Square for a few years afterwards.
このテレビゲームというものに対してよく知らない方々がどんどんいろいろなことを書いたり喋ったりされるのでおかしくなってきてるわけです。愚策は愚策、打作は打作、面白くも楽しくもないものは
In 1999, he famously referred to JRPG players as depressed gamers who like to sit alone in their dark rooms and play slow games, while also referring to the entire JRPG genre as silly and boring. And if he felt such disdain for his own customers, you can only imagine how he felt about rival console manufacturers, and had quite a few choice words for them and their fans. For a start, he referred to PlayStation's fanbase as the people who dye their hair brown and hang around Tokyo's Akihabara electronics district. Microsoft, who at the time were preparing their first Xbox console, wasn't safe from Yamauchi's vitriol either, with old brass nuts Yamauchi making his feelings pretty clear, stating that there are many people in the industry that know nothing about games. In particular, a large American company is trying to engulf software houses with money, but I don't believe that will go well. Hiroshi's obviously better as a president than a fortune teller then. Nintendo has come a long way since its inception in 1889, and it's taken many presidents to shepherd the company through over a century of failures and successes, through 2 world wars, and so many other worldwide changes. Shuichiro Kaneda was the second president of Nintendo after its founder Fujisaro Yamauchi retired in 1929. While not a Yamauchi by blood, Kaneda married into the family through Fujisaro's daughter, Tei Yamauchi, adopting the family name soon after taking the role of president, as there was no male heir in the family. Following Shuichiro's death in 1949, their grandson Hiroshi was offered the presidency. However, the then 21-year-old would only take the job under one condition, that he was the only Yamauchi at Nintendo. An agreement was made, and Hiroshi's cousin was fired without hesitation. Not that this was where the firings ended, mind you. Soon after taking the post, he had to contend with factory strikes over moves to consolidate locations. Some affected employees even resorted to hunger strikes to make their voices heard. The inexperienced president felt his staff were underestimating his abilities as president simply because he was only appointed as a blood relative. But he soon made his mark by firing many of the long-term employees involved. Yes, there can only be one Yamauchi at Nintendo. Rumours that the Highlander movie was inspired by this man's antics are completely unfounded, and completely fabricated by myself, just then. But now you're picturing him swinging a sword around and lopping off heads, aren't you? Surprising, but absolutely true. Despite being the head honcho of a company known for developing some of the greatest games ever made, Hiroshi Yamauchi did not play them. At all. But he did love a Japanese board game called Go, the very same Japanese game where Atari took their company name from, in fact. In an article published in Wired after Yamauchi's death in 2013, Henk Rogers, the man responsible for bringing role-playing games to Japan and securing the console rights to Tetris, recalls how he discovered Yamauchi's love for Go in a Japanese magazine. Rogers had just been sent a Commodore 64 game based on Go, and successfully pitched a similar idea directly to Yamauchi personally. Something that not even the likes of Square, Enix, and other known Japanese developers were able to do. The story goes that once the game was finished, when it was shown to Yamauchi, rather than pick up a controller and play the game for himself, he barked Go moves at an underling who was controlling the game itself. He had never held a controller in his hands at that point, and likely rarely did, if ever. However, it was reported that one game he did indulge in every once in a while was a quick game of Tetris, and who could blame him? It's almost like the man himself didn't like fun. I mean, he purchased the Seattle Mariners baseball team in the 90s, and despite investing a considerable amount of money, he famously never even attended a single game. He was clearly all business. Being a company president, and at multiple points amongst the richest men in Japan, allows you a whole lot of power and sway. So it should be of no surprise to you that he had the final say over everything that Nintendo did. He steered the company from their roots as a manufacturer of playing cards to all sorts of ventures, including failed projects like a taxi service, bowling alleys, so-called love hotels, which are exactly as dirty as they sound, food products like ramen, to more lucrative endeavours such as toys. He discovered that an employee was working on a strange extendable hand he invented, and immediately manufactured this unique plaything into a successful toy product. By the way, that man was Gunpei Yokoi, the man behind the legendary Game Boy, Bandai's Wonder Swan, and was named producer in the credits of many a Nintendo classic. Oh, and he invented the Virtual Boy, but we won't mention that here. As Nintendo moved into electronic toys and into the home console market, he even hand-picks the type of games that he felt would be successful if developed for the launch of the Famicom. Something he was pretty damn good at, considering the success of the Famicom in its native Japan, which is quite impressive considering he never played video games.
本番行きます。
それではここにタレントスタジオを皆さん全員にお届けしますが、このソフトは従来型ソフトにはない全く新しい遊びを体験していただける任天堂の自信作であります。どうぞお家族お友達とご一緒にユニークなタレントを作ってワイワイガヤガヤ楽しんでいただきますようよろしくお願いいたします。
はい、OK です。
これでいいか？
はい、お疲れ様です。
これどんなソフトやったかな？どんなソフ
However, having a final say can be a problem when your way of thinking fails to move with the times. During 2004, at the time when the PlayStation 2 and the Xbox were redefining the medium and its ability to tell new stories, Yamauchi remarked, "I have been saying this for some time, but customers are not interested in grand games with higher quality graphics and sound and epic stories. Only people who do not know the video game business would advocate the release of next generation machines when people are not interested in cutting edge technologies." This was of course just before the non-HD Wii was announced, falling far behind the more powerful rivals, the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. So Hiroshi didn't always have the Midas touch. Hello you! Thanks ever so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to be first to see future Fact Hunt episodes. Click on the bell if you already are to make sure you're notified, and be sure to check out my other episodes. And if you want to be super awesome, check out my Patreon. But thanks again for watching, and I'll be seeing you next time. Ta-ra for now!